So in my review of the 6950X, it was observed that with the $1,700 price tag, you could probably build a pretty wicked computer, the whole thing, for less than just the price of a singular processor, and have money for great peripherals. I had a few people tweet me saying that I should actually do it and make a video about it, so here we are. But I threw a bit of a challenge at the Linus Tech Tips community forum. I asked them to configure the best all-around system for under $1,700. Let's see who won, why, and how it performs. Massdrop is featuring the Minivan Custom Keyboard, which comes in a 40% form factor with various customization options. Check it out at other drops in the video description down below. Through browsing all the submissions, I noticed trends, components that seem to define this price category, or even certain specs that I would just gravitate towards personally. I left the contest fairly open-ended and let the community show me what they could do. Then after skimming all of the submissions, I made a list of things that I found to be requirements and started judging. In my opinion, the best, most well-rounded, can-do-it-all computer was configured by someone with one of the greatest names I have ever read, Herman McPudis. But there is more to this man than just his name. And we'll start with the processor that they chose, the 6700K. I liked the inclusion of an i7 for tasks like streaming or video editing or anything else that can take advantage of the additional threads. This was largely a 6600K versus 6700K showdown in terms of processor, and being able to squeeze in the i7 was great. I appreciated the inclusion of a 240mm all-in-one water cooler, but this wasn't a requirement. I found that anyone with the Hyper 212 Evo level cooler and up received a pass in this category. The motherboard wasn't anything to necessarily phone home about, but the features are solid with an overclocking ready chipset, USB Type-C connector on the back, and all the other basic necessities someone is likely to desire. Nothing too special, but not overly lacking either. Much like the 16 gigabytes of G.Skill Ripjaw V-Series memory, the capacity of which I saw as a baseline for this build, as it's easy to fit in the budget and gives you expansion room by only using 2 of your expected 4 RAM slots. Moving on to storage is where some of the more aggressive requirements started to show up. People with SSDs that were under about 240 gigabytes or a hard drive that was under about 2 terabytes were knocked off almost immediately. At this price point, you shouldn't be making major compromises in any category. Luckily for Herman McPudis, he met both of these requirements right on the line. For graphics card, it was a battle of the GTX 1070 versus 1080. This price point was a little high for an RX 480 and the GTX 1060, but I did find that people who pushed for the 1080 fell short in some other category, and as the 1070 is an extremely powerful card, he got a pass. The case is solid enough and carries through the white and black theme that has been maintained thus far. The power supply has more than enough wattage to power everything, an 80+ gold efficiency rating, and should be built well enough in order to not light everything on fire, so that's a plus. The monitor he chose is 1440p, which is a great resolution pairing for the GTX 1070. It has a beautiful IPS panel and a 4 millisecond delay, meaning it's not exactly going to be the fastest gaming monitor out there, but can do the job as long as you're not trying to go MLG Pro or some crap like that. The Corsair Vengeance K65 compact 10 keyless keyboard is a solid choice, especially at that price point, and the Logitech G302 paired with that gives you a great combined hands-on experience for your PC. So, how does it perform? It destroys gaming benchmarks at 1440p, nothing below 60 FPS average, and all of the games were heavy-hitting titles, including the newer Tomb Raider, Crysis 3, and Hitman, and all of them were maxed freaking settings, 1440p, very high, ultra, all that fun stuff. No compromises here. And then for our synthetic CPU test, it also smashed in both the multi-threaded benchmark and the single-threaded benchmark. Cities Skylines, we included this game because it is CPU bound and very heavily. 58 FPS, that's damn close to 60. And finally, game streaming. While streaming using XSplit at 1080p 30 FPS, we were able to get 68.59 frames per second in Tomb Raider. That's insane. And that's while still playing Tomb Raider at 1440p max settings. Sick. How's that for a conclusion? All right, thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do, but if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit the like button, or check out the link in the video description for where to buy all this stuff, or a shirt if you want to do that as well. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see more videos like this. Should I do more like community showdowns where we get a bunch of people to try to configure a rig at a specific price point, like maybe a price point for the new Titan X, which is really expensive, or just more logical price points like a budget build or like a high-end build or something like that? Let me know, comments down below or on Twitter at LinusTech. Check out this video where I wasn't in it because it's a Channel Superfun video that was recent and it wasn't the chalk one.